Okay, again, once again, welcome everyone to this quick section, and it's going to be moderated by myself and Mark. My name is Richard, and this is basically a career workshop. We'll be talking about strategies when you want to look for work. We'll be talking about interview preparation, what you need to do, and how you need to prepare. We'll be talking about how to optimize your CV and your LinkedIn as well. So I'm gonna pass on to Mark. Mark, do you want to do the intro and do your
Yep.
slides?
Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. My name is Mark. I'm CEO of MI Consulting. Started over 5 years ago. I'm a senior planner by profession. The idea of MI Consulting is to help our community to get jobs into tech and also to keep jobs into tech as well. So we have several trainers such as Richard, our Scrum Master, Tammy, our business analyst, Tom and Nike, our project management professionals as well. So we will help you integrate, mentor you, and ensure that you can navigate the job market. You can create a compelling CV and smash your interviews and showcase your PM skills. Richard, if you move on to the next slide. Thank you. So topic one, we're going to be looking at some of you are coming from different backgrounds, HRO, healthcare, teaching, data analysts, and so on and so forth. There are some common roles available for you in project management. For example, project manager, the job of a project manager is to be like the captain of the ship, coordinating and mentoring the team, ensuring that they keep to the budget that the customer wants, they keep to the timeline that the customer wants, and also removing any blockers and issues or risk that can affect the project. So you are going to be the captain of the ship, managing the people, and also the project manager might need help. He might outsource the job of planning, of scheduling the plans to a project planner. So as a project planner, you are going to be a specialist in planning and using those planning tools such as Microsoft Project, P6 Primavera, Astra Power, Deltec Acumen Fuse, and so on and so forth. So your job is to create the plan on behalf of the project manager and maintain the plan and deliver that plan, and also coach the stakeholders on what is the critical parts in the plan, looking at the end values and so on. And this is all we're going to train you on. The Scrum Master is also a good job as well. And then you'll be the one to facilitate the teams, either in sprints and to ensure that they are meeting up with what the product owner wants. Another job you can apply for is Agile Delivery Manager. That's more on a broader side. So the difference is that the Agile looks at more teams, and while the Scrum Master looks at facilitating one or two sprint teams. So you can apply for the Agile Delivery Manager as well. Product Owner is also available as well, a job that is where you're looking after the customer's needs and ensuring that the team, the developmental team are looking at catering to your needs and ensuring that they are matching your requirements. So you can apply for a product owner as well. Business analyst is also there as well. You can apply for a business analyst job and we'll train you on that as well. And they are focused more on requirements gathering and ensuring that we're capturing what the customer wants as well. PMO analyst is also a useful role for entry levels where you are helping the project manager looking after the admin duties, looking after the forecasts, and managing the resources as well. Program lead is also a good role as well, where you're going to be managing multiple projects and managing multiple PMO analysts as well. So you'll be doing their one-to-one sessions with them, reporting to the executives about what's going on in the programs. Project support is an entry-level role, doing the admin duties on behalf of the project manager and also project coordinator as well, doing admin duties and looking after the project as they go along. So these are good roles you can go into, and there are much more roles like change lead, risk managers, many other roles available as well. So if you move on to the next slide. So the skill sets, the skill sets needed in project management roles and agile roles. 99% of your job is stakeholder management, managing difficult stakeholders, managing demanding stakeholders. You need to be able to have very good interpersonal skills to manage stakeholders. We will train you on all this. We will train you on agile methodologies such as Scrum, Kanban, and SAFe. So SAFe is looking at the broader measures of Scrum and Kanban. And in terms of planning and prioritization, I will be training you on that one. You will learn how to create a plan, you learn how to maintain the plan, and you learn how to prioritize the task as well. We'll be training you on facilitation and coaching. So in your lifespan in project management, you are going to be facilitating requirements. You are going to be coaching people, either as a scrum master or as a planner, and telling them the best practices. Also, risk. You are going to be involved in the risk, in gathering risk and mitigating the risk as well. And in terms of change management, we are also going to be the gatekeeper in terms of change, either as a project manager, ensuring that the changes do not derail the project costs and the project timeline. You're also going to be working with the change leads. And then in terms of tools, you are going to be a super user of tools such as Microsoft Projects, P6, Primavera, Jira, Moral, and several others as well. And in terms of project management, we'll go through the life cycles, we'll go through your responsibilities, we'll go through the CVs and different expectations of what you need to expect in project management. And communication, one of the biggest challenges that people don't know how to talk or they don't know how to write very well. So you'll be coached on this. You'll be doing some presentations. You'll be doing some writing presentations as well to ensure that you can keep the job stress-free. Thank you, Richard. If you move on to the next one. Um, I think, is this you or it's my, okay, it's me as well, is it? Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of certification, you can do several certifications. It's good to have, but it's not so necessary. So Scrum Master, you can write Scrum Master certifications. We also partner with a US company called VMDo. You can do your exams and certifications with us. You can also enroll for Prince 2 Foundation and Practitioning. You can do SAFe. You can do PMI, PMP, you can do Agile PM and APM qualifications, and also risk. If you're interested in risk, you can do level 1 and 2 with APM. So these are several certifications available. It's not a need to have, but it's good to have. Okay. The major thing is your experience. That's what counts. And then the next slide.
Yeah, thank you very
Okay,
much, Mark.
you're welcome.
Yeah. Just to add, I mean, if at any point in time any of our current candidates want to write any of these exams, we can facilitate that. So just let us know if you're interested in writing any of these certification exams. And please, if you're not speaking, can you kindly mute yourself? Yeah, we've getting a lot of background noise. Okay, so moving on. Thank you very much, Mark. So let's go into the meat of today. So CV workshop. First of all, let's talk about your CV. So your CV is like your personal complimentary card. Now you apply for a job. They don't know you. They don't know if you're a handsome man or if you're a beautiful woman. All they see is your CV. Now you might be the best, you have the knowledge, you might be the best candidate, you have this experience and everything. But if your CV is not up to par, you won't get called for that role. So what are the things we need to do to make sure that our CVs stand out? First of all, your personal statement, it has to be concise and impactful. When someone reads your professional profile or your professional summary, which should be at the top of your CV, it needs to make an impact on that person. I've seen a lot of people, their CVs, they send their CVs to me. I see something along the lines of, I'm a hardworking person, I keep to time, I'm an accurate timekeeper. No, that is very basic. Now, your personal profile or your professional profile, that personal statement needs to be very concise. It needs to spell out your experience, your strengths, and a bit of what you're good at, tooling, whatever tools you're good at using. You need to highlight it there, because trust me, some people don't have time to look at your whole CV. All they read is your personal statement and they'll make a decision. So your personal statement needs to be very concise and impactful. Then after your personal statement, next comes your key skills. I've also seen people put their skills, their core skills at the bottom. No, you want to put your skills at the top. Because if someone has to go through 30 CVs, they won't start looking at the bottom to look for your skills. So after your personal statement, the next thing that should come next is your skills, your core skills. What are your skills? Stakeholder management, advanced communication skills, whatever skills you have, you need to put that after your professional profile. Then your career summary. You need to put your career summary, like you can see an example of a CV here. This person says, working for a busy automotive dealership, blah, blah, blah. They outline their responsibilities, key responsibilities, and at the bottom, they put their achievements, what they've been able to achieve. So it says, your career summary quantified in achievements. What have you been able to achieve in your previous roles? Then also you need to also put things like your the tools you're familiar with, the tech, because a lot of businesses now they have a lot of tech stack. So they want people that have prior knowledge or experience using this particular technology. So you put the experience you have using things like MSP, things like Oracle PCs and whatnot. Then at the bottom, you put your certifications and your professional trainings. Whatever certifications you have, trust me, there's a load of free certifications you can get and just put on your CV to show that you are a dedicated professional. Okay. Then at the bottom, if you want, if you have them, you can start putting, just a brief summary of things you've worked on. You can even make this up. Trust me, you can make this up. If you haven't got the experience, if you've not worked in this industry before, I know you would not know what to put in there, but you can actually make this up based off what you've learned here in MI Consulting. But the key thing is to use those buzzwords within project management space. There's a few buzzwords, things like planning, governance, rate. Those key buzzwords should be in your CV, because if your CV goes through the algorithm and it doesn't detect those words, it will not pick up your CV. So your CV should use those key buzzwords. And if you look at roles, you can actually look at the job description and pick up those keywords and embed them on your CV. Okay. And also, before I move on, let me also talk about hybrid roles. Now, some people CV, they would say something along the lines they were a support worker 3 years ago. This year, they are a project manager. No, there has to be a transition. Okay, there has to be a transition. If you're a support worker a while ago, you have to show there has to be some. It wasn't magic. You just from support worker, you had no experience and you became a project manager. So there has to be a story. You were a support worker. Okay, from there what? From there what? From there has to be like that growth. Okay, and this is something we can help you with. Okay, moving on. So the common mistakes to avoid: stop using generic statements. Like I said earlier, people will say, "I'm hardworking. I'm a hardworking project manager." They start talking about their hobbies and all that. Those are very generic. Don't use generic statements. Your statements needs to be tailored to show that this person knows their own and they know exactly what they're doing. You're a professional. Okay. Secondly, too much detail without value. You put in long statements, long paragraphs, but there's no value. Someone can't even see exactly what you're trying to state. You're saying you're a hard worker with 20 years experience in project management, and you have not really articulated the skill set you're bringing in. You have extensive experience in this. You have extensive experience in that. So what are you bringing in? What are you bringing to our business? You need to state that. Okay. Thirdly, long paragraphs instead of using bullet points. Again, when you're writing your skill set, your skills or your competencies, use bullet points. Don't make your paragraphs too long. Okay. And the fourth one, this is very, very important. I've also seen people using one particular CV to apply for multiple roles. No, you need to embrace the principle of inspect and adapt. So when you're applying for roles, always tailor your CVs to suit that role. Now, in job searching, it's not about the quantity of CVs you throw out there, it's about the quality. So even if you're applying for 10 roles or 5 roles a week, those roles you need to make sure your CV is tailored. The chances of you being called is higher than you use one CV and you're applying for planner role, scrum master role, agile delivery lead role, program lead role. No, it's not going to work. You need to tailor your CV to suit specific roles. And last but not the least, this is a very common one now. People use AI to write their CVs. Now, there's a lot of software out there that detects AI write-ups. So if AI speaks or writes a certain way, if you use AI to write your CV, you need to humanize it. Okay, for those of you who have done your masters in the UK, when you're submitting your assignments, I can't remember the tool it goes through. It goes through a tool that checks for um, if you've
Turnitin.
copied. Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
Tonitin.
Talent, that's the one. Yeah. So that's something similar. So there's a tool that can detect if your CV was written by any AI application. So even if you use any of the AI application to write your CV, ensure that you humanize it. Okay. Any questions? Okay, moving on. So let's talk about your LinkedIn. Now, let's say your CV is sorted. Your CV is sorted. You've humanized your CV. You've done everything I just spoke about in the last slide. Now you need to work on your LinkedIn. Okay, your CV needs to align with your LinkedIn. You can't say you're doing this on your LinkedIn, on your CV, and your LinkedIn is saying something entirely different. The dates have to match. Recruiters check these things. They get your CV, they check you on LinkedIn, they just look at your last role and cross check it and check on your CV to see if it correlates. If it's different, they know you cheat. So you ensure that your CV aligns with whatever you have on your LinkedIn. Then, firstly, your banner image, your image, you need to take a good professional photograph. Okay, your picture on LinkedIn is like what people see when they look at you. You don't want to take a selfie in the park or take a selfie in your kitchen and you put that as your LinkedIn profile picture. Your profile picture needs to be professional. Someone is
I
one
think
second.
is
Let me mute.
Ambassador Kenji.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's carry on. So your photograph needs to be professional. I'm not saying you should go to the studio and take an expensive studio photograph. No, you can actually use your phone and get a nice picture that looks very professional. Okay, professional headshot. And your about me section needs to be very compelling. I will share an example of mine on LinkedIn. So if I can, let me just pull that up and show you what my LinkedIn about me looks like, just as an example. Um, moving on, after the body certifications, then you turn on your open to work so that recruiters know you're open to work. Then lastly, you ask for recommendations. Okay, you can ask people within our community, within MI Consulting, within the alumni WhatsApp group to recommend you, because that shows that you're human. People know you. Okay, if I show you again, let me quickly show you what it means to recommend people on LinkedIn. Then let's move on. Please, if you have any questions at any time, don't hesitate to ask. And where to look for work and where to look for jobs, rather. LinkedIn jobs is good. CV library is equally good. Read.co.uk is very good. Total jobs. And also company websites or consultancies. So if you have specific companies you want to work for, like I've mentored someone that wanted to work for JP Morgan, and that was his dream to work with JP Morgan. So I said, okay, you need to go and register in their talent pool and keep an eye, enable notifications so that when there's any new role, they will send you an email. You can also do that for companies you want to specifically work for. If you want to work for BP, you want to work for Amazon, whatever, you go into their site, register in their talent pool, and whenever there's new vacancies, they will email it to you. Okay. So that there's other sites you can look for work, but these are the very legit ones because a lot of these sites now they just steal people's information and you have weird people calling you. So these are the ones that are legit. Okay. So moving on, what is our smart job strategy? One, let's talk about tactical strategy. So there's something they call bowling searches. So if you're looking for a role, you say, for those of you that have gone through the Jira training with me, when we did our JQL, we put and or. You can also use that when searching for roles. What this does is, I'll show you a demonstration. I want to look for agile coaches or scrum master roles or project manager roles. If I come here at the top, if I say, okay, let me say project manager roles. So if I say project manager and agile and London jobs. Now I'm putting this operator words that I'm telling this search. I want to see project manager roles that have agile in it, maybe agile delivery lead or agile project manager in London. If I search it, it's going to only show me roles according to what I've instructed it to show me. So it won't show me roles in Australia or show me roles in Manchester or show me roles in Southampton. It's going to show me roles specific because I've instructed it to. I want to see project manager jobs or agile that have agile in it in London. So you can also use this to narrow your search. If you live in Manchester and you don't want to travel, you want only jobs in Manchester, you apply the same principle. It's going to show you roles in total jobs read that are only in your location and specific to what you've asked it to show you. Okay. So you can use that to search for roles. And also, like I mentioned earlier, you tailor your CV for each role. Don't use one CV for all the roles because you won't get interviews. Make sure you look at the job description, look at exactly what they want, try and embed it in your CV. Like I said, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. Then thirdly, activate your LinkedIn open to work, which is the banner on your profile. You make the recruiters know you're open to work. And finally, reach out and sign up with recruiters on LinkedIn. Add recruiters, send some personal messages, ask them if they've got any roles going. You know, don't be shy. Reach out to them. Sign up with. There's a lot of consultancies and recruitment companies that are looking for professionals. Sign up with them. A few of them are C Prime. They have Northern Ireland. They have Capgemini. Reach out to them. Email. Go on LinkedIn. Look for their recruitment or talent acquisition partners and send them messages that you're looking for. Work. So it's very important to just don't sit down and just be applying for jobs on LinkedIn. I mean, on LinkedIn or Indeed alone. You need to reach out to people as well. Okay. Now, Mark, this is for you. Do you want to carry on?
Yeah. So, in terms of interviews, there are phases in this. You have applied for a job, and the recruiter or the hiring manager has liked your CV, and they've penciled you. They will send you an invite and say, come in for a Teams interview or face-to-face interview or lunch interview or coffee interview. You need to prep to win the date. You need to prep to convince your future line manager that you are capable of delivering the job. And they will ask you competence-based stories. So you will need to tell them in terms of situation, what was the context, where are you working? For example, I was working with a company, an IT company, and they will give you the task. In the interview question, they will say, tell me a time you dealt with a difficult stakeholder. So in the situation, you will say, while working for an IT company, I was faced with a challenge from a difficult stakeholder, unhappy with the presentation of the report. And you now go on to the next segment, which is the implication of you not doing anything about it, either as a contractor or permanent staff. So you just say, if I ignore the stakeholder, I will end up getting my contract being terminated. I will end up being put on a action plan. I will end up damaging my reputation. And then you're going to list out in bullet points what you did to resolve that action. Is you can talk about soft skills. I engaged the difficult stakeholder. I listened to the difficult stakeholder. I we agreed a compromise, and then talk about the technical things you did to address the task given to you, either what you've done on Excel, what you've done on MS Project, what you've done on P6 Primavera, what you've done on Power BI, what you've done on PowerPoint, and then the results of your actions in terms of what was the client happy or was the difficult stakeholder happy? Was the line manager happy with your actions? And were you happy with your actions? So this is how we are going to prep you and build your confidence so that you can smash the interviews that is coming up for you. Any questions as we go? Okay, Richard, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Thank you very
Yep,
much.
yeah.
Please, if you have any questions, don't be shy. Ask your questions. Okay. So now let's talk about. Let's say your CV is on point, your LinkedIn is on point, you're applying for roles the right way. Now you start getting interviews. One of the generic questions you always get asked in interviews are things like, tell me about yourself. How do you ensure stakeholder alignment? I mean, this is within our industry. How do you handle changing priorities? How do you deal with difficult stakeholders? Describe how you've delivered a successful project. Now, I want to put this question out there. Can someone please, I know I'm not trying to put anyone on the spot. So, can someone just volunteer and tell me if you're asked this question in an interview for a project coordinator role, what would be your response? Someone should just try. It mustn't be perfect. I want someone to try. Someone should just, try. Just say something. Just so we can. I want to use an example and see, this is on the spot, but just give it a go. Any volunteers? Because that is the most common question you get asked. You go to an interview, they introduce themselves, they say hello, hi Richard, hi Mark,
Hello.
and yeah, go
Hello.
for it.
Hello. My name is Margaret. Yeah, if I've been asked that question, that's it, to tell you about myself. I think I'll introduce myself, tell you my name, my experience, my skills, my previous work.
Okay,
The
Margaret, I'm asking you now. Don't I'm Tell me about yourself, Margaret. This is an interview.
Okay.
Just yeah, let's
Well,
role play.
I have working in X sector, so I don't know what's
No, just give it a go. There's no right or wrong answer. It's a safe space. We're all learning. So
Okay,
just
so
try.
I'll introduce myself. My name is Margaret Adibayo, and I'm working as a support worker in one hospital. I mean, I don't want to mention it's
No,
confidential.
don't call the
Please.
hospital, just say hospital. Yeah, we know. Go
Yes, I
for it.
work as a support worker, and then I my sorry, let me just stop there. Don't let me stutter.
Well, I'm happy you tried. Thank you very much, Margaret. That's someone being confident and bold. You might not get it. I mean, you just give it a go. You have to try. Thank you very much, Margaret. So one more person who wants to try. Anybody? Dami, are you there? Dami, do you want to have a go?
So can you repeat the question, please? So,
So if you're, let me say, with your current role now, if you go to an interview and they ask you this question, tell me about yourself, which is very common in interviews. What would your response be?
okay, I'll start by saying, my name is William Joshua. Over the years, I've worked as a project manager or project planner, for Emma Consulting. While I worked with the company, I we carried on multiple projects ranging in different sectors from oil and gas construction and also railway projects. I'm proficient in the use of Microsoft Project and also um, Oracle Primavera P6, which are used to sorry, I lost it.
Okay, Dami,
Uh,
well done. For me, I'll give you a feedback, right? In this sort of situations, right? I know a lot of people are not confident with silence, but don't use too many filler words. I heard a lot of in your response. It's
okay,
okay to take a break and collect your thoughts. Okay,
okay,
silence is fine. You know, if you say something you mustn't say because that would distract the people. They won't even get exactly what you're trying to say because there's a lot of yeah.
okay,
But I think you did it right. I think you tried, but just limit
okay,
the filler words. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff, Dan. So I think with this question, the first thing you want to highlight is your profession. If you're a project manager, you're an agile coach, you highlight that. You can say, for instance, I'm a well, they know you're a project manager. You can say I'm a PM with 2 years experience leading cross-functional teams, delivering high impact digital technology and transformation projects. You can tell them about where you started your career. I started my career with MI Consulting in business operations, which gave me a strong foundation in stakeholder management. Now you're highlighting your skills, okay, and process improvement, for instance. You see, over time, I transitioned into project management or agile, whatever it is, where I led initiatives. Now you're telling them what you've done in the past, where I led initiatives ranging from software implementations to agile transformations, for instance, delivering projects on time within budget and aligned to business outcomes. Then you can also highlight your strength. One of my strengths is my ability to bridge communication between technical teams and stakeholders, which are not technical or non-technical stakeholders, ensuring alignment and transparency. Okay, you can also highlight I'm also experienced in both agile and waterfall methods and often work in hybrid environments. So now you've stated your profession, you're professional in this, then you've told them about your experience and how you transition into agile or project management. You've also highlighted your stakeholder management skills. You've also talked about the industries you've worked in. You've worked in digital transformation and agile transformation. You also highlighted that you're very conversant with technical language, so you can translate that to for non-technical people. So you want to capture your strength because it is like your elevator pitch. You have 3 minutes or 2 minutes to sell yourself. So always ensure that you practice, your tell me about yourself response. Because if you get that question right, that will determine the trajectory of your interview. If you get it right, your interview will go smoothly. But if you start blabbing, they will get a bit, and they'll start asking you a lot of questions to kind of see if you can handle your own. So, but if you smash that first tell me about yourself question, or talk me through your CV, or let's meet you, they could rephrase it, but always make sure that you have that response in your head. Okay. Highlight your strength, highlight, your experience, if you can even say if you've got a master's degree or what, you can also highlight that, whatever that can make you stand out from the other candidates. Okay, so that is one for you to just, when your CV is ready, ensure that you start, go to your mirror, speak to yourself in the mirror, practice, rehearse, and until it becomes part of you, until you have that confidence. Because a lot of people have interviewed people that when you ask them this question, they just choke and they just go blank and they start smiling, you know, that they will know they've lost a job already. So you don't want that to happen to you.
I also
Okay,
advise you record yourself on your phone as well, and then give yourself feedback.
exactly, exactly. You can also ask a colleague, ask one of your, colleagues, or you can even ask myself or Mark. We'll give you feedback. We can always do mock interviews with you and get you ready. The thing about interviews is, if you're prepared, you'll be confident. But if you're not prepared, you would just go there and you would blow your opportunity. So always make sure. I always tell people, if you get an interview, treat it like it's a final. It's a Champions League final. You have to win this. Okay, put everything in it. Right, let's move on. So key takeaways from today, and this is the action plan I want for those of you who are already applying for roles. This is what I want you to do this week. I want you to revise and update your CV. Okay, for those of you, currently, who have, if you're currently studying with us, maybe you're still, you're not ready. But for those who are ready, revise your CVs. You can contact myself or Mark, and let's do a quick sense check on your CVs. We want people to start applying for roles. Okay. When you revise your CVs, use all the nuggets you've gotten today, apply them. Talked about your skill, the format for your CV, your personal statement, your competence and skills. You need to highlight those next after your personal or professional summary. We want you to start applying for 5 roles every week minimum, but you need to tailor your applications. I will show you one software. It's a free software. You can use that software to ensure your applications are tailored to that specific role. And also you use Max STIAR stories for interviews. Rehearse your stories. come up with stories. If you don't have stories, if you start applying, come to us. We would help you come up with stories. Okay. And update your LinkedIn and connect with at least 50 people. Okay. You need to keep your LinkedIn live, because if you keep engaging on LinkedIn, then your profile will be visible. Okay. If you don't engage, your profile will not be visible. So, you know, repost people's pictures, repost people's posts about anything that has to do with your industry. Just make sure you're active on LinkedIn so that your profile can be visible. Okay. Can we do that? Is that something we can do?
Yes.
Good stuff. Any questions? So before we wrap up quickly, I will just want to share something with every one of you. So I said I'm going to show you a software, and I'm going to put a link to this software in the chat. It's free, so you can use this software and ensure your applications are tailored to that specific role. Just give me a minute. Right, I've put a link in the chat. You can save that, bookmark that. It's a free software. It's called CV Wolf. This is what it looks like. It's free. So what you do with this software is, when your CV is ready and you want to apply for a role, all you have to do is go on your CV, right click your CV and paste it here. Okay. You write on your CV, you put it here. Then you go to the job description. Let's say I want to apply for um, a Scrum Master job. Okay. Let's look for one Scrum Master role for a demonstration. So you've got this Scrum Master role here with and it's golden recruitment, 70 to 90K per year. If I click on it, so you want to copy the job description. Now, this is the job description here. Let's see, where is it? Okay, this one hasn't got a detailed job description, but we can copy what they want. You see, they want someone that creating infrastructure solutions to major reward challenges, Scrum Master responsibilities, use of multiple languages, infrastructure. This is more of a technical Scrum Master. So let's look for something else. This is very technical. Let's look for another Scrum Master role. Let's look at this one. Okay, this one has the key responsibilities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these key responsibilities and requirements. I'll just copy everything, and I'll copy it and I'll go to my CV Wolf and I'll put it here where it says job description. I'll put it there. Okay. Then let's say, okay, let's say I want to use the CV. Let's say I've got a CV here. Let's say I've got my CV here, right? This is my CV. If I highlight it and copy my CV, I can put my CV on here where it says put your CV. Okay. If I say check my CV against the PD, if I click on check, it's going to tell me what is missing. So you can see from my CV is 79%. It's telling me that in terms of technical skills, I'm 76%. Abilities compared to the job description, I am 20%. Other keywords, I'm 100%. Title and degree, I'm 67%. Now, if you go down to the bottom, you can see what it's saying. It's saying that on the job description, Agile was found 5 times. On my CV, it was found 23 times. Scrum, 18 times. On the job description, 4 times. Stakeholder management on my CV, 0. Service delivery, 0. Software development, 0. Management experience, 0. Continuous improvement, 1, 1. Frameworks, 4, 1. So you can see what my CV is lacking. You can come down here. You can see keywords. These words were not mentioned in my CV, but they were found on the job description. So what am I going to do? I'm going to ensure that I go back to my CV and I ensure that these words are in my CV. I'll look for somewhere and put one of my skill set, mentorship. I'll put excellent communication. I'll put management skills as one of my competencies. I'll look for somewhere and put productive, whatever. Make a statement with productive. I'll put advanced stakeholder management skills. I'll put something around service delivery, software development, management experience. And when I do that, I'll come again and I'll paste my CV in here again, and it's going to be around 90 to 100%. Then you can apply for the role. What this does is, when you apply for jobs, you can see most roles, you see 200 applications. People cannot filter through those applications manually. They have like bots that filter those applications. And this is what it does. If your CV hasn't got those keywords they want, no, they won't, it will not pass. It won't get to the people. So your CV has to be top notch. You need to ensure that you're using CV Wolf and ensuring that all the keywords in the um, job description are on your CV. Then you will start getting more interviews. Does it make sense? Any questions? Any questions? So you can bookmark this link. Like I said, it's free of charge. You can use it. Copy the job description, put it in here. Copy your CV, Control A, Control V, put it here, and check, and you will know where your CV is lacking. Once you sort it out, then you can go and apply for that role. That's why I said it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. Right. Any questions before we wrap up? This was meant to be a 30-minute section, but we've overrun. Okay, there's no question. I'm going to leave you all with a quote. It's from a guy called Walt Disney. Walt Disney. It says, "The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing." So let's quit talking and what you want to do, what you want to do. You need to start doing it. You want to start applying for roles, start applying for roles. We've given you the strategies. You have all the support you need. If you have any questions, reach out to myself or Mark or any of the consultants here in MI Consulting. I'll be happy
Yeah.
to help you. Okay.
Richard, got Olumide Akerele, I think, is raised his hand.
Yeah, Olumide, go for it.
Okay, hello Richard. My name is Timilola.
Right. Okay.
There's something I've observed on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Each time they post a job, like 2 hours after, when I maybe go back there to try to see the job or apply, I notice that it already have like 100 and something applications already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why is that. Is it AI or people actually applied for those jobs?
Okay. What happens is you see those LinkedIn jobs.
Yeah, yeah.
Once someone clicks on it, it
Yeah.
registers that if someone has applied for it. So some
Oh,
people might click on the job and look at it, but then it adds to the number. So not
oh,
everyone that you see, when you see 100 people, doesn't mean that everyone there has applied for that role.
okay. Okay,
So, but you
thank
can
you.
also use LinkedIn filters to, again, I forgot to mention, you can set your notifications. Most of this Indeed, CV Library, and Total Jobs, they always advertise new roles from Monday 10 o'clock. Monday 10 o'clock, then around midweek after 10 in the morning. So I'll always advise you Monday morning, check, Indeed, check CV Library, check Read. Wednesday after 10, always check. Because if you're one of the first applicants, the chances of you being called is equally very high. Don't apply for jobs that are 8 weeks old. There's no point. Any job you see online that is in the tech space that has been there for more than 2 weeks, there's no point because there will be about 300 applicants. So always filter, last 24 hours, last 3 days, or maybe last 7 days at the max. Okay. Has that answered your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
No worries.
I think we had
Any
somebody else raise their hand.
any other questions?
Yeah, I think you raised your hand, did you? You put it down.
I mean, this is your time to ask your questions because trust me, people get this, people pay for this, but we're giving it as part of our, what we're offering to our candidates. So please ask your questions. We want you guys to succeed. Have you got any questions?
For me, I
Yes,
think
I
I'm
do have
fine.
a question. Sorry.
Go for it.
So I was looking for the raise hand button. I just couldn't get it. So the question is, you mentioned about the about me question,
Yeah.
using the opportunity to sell yourself properly.
Yeah.
So there were some few things I missed. Sorry. that you were mentioning there. You like a few things I highlighted were, being able to say things regarding the past projects we've done, what like the stakeholder management skills are like, industries worked in, and how we're able to translate technical language into non-technical
Yeah,
languages. Like,
yeah.
are there other things too that one can highlight in that about my question?
Yeah, I mean, this. I mean, if you look at the business, if it's a business that is hybrid, some businesses they are agile and they also use waterfall. You want to
Mm.
also highlight that you're very conversant with working within an agile environment and waterfall environment. Okay.
Oh,
If you also, if it's a role that needs, you're going to work in a portfolio. I'm sure everyone here knows what a portfolio is. It's a combination of programs. If it's a portfolio, business that has a lot of portfolios and have multiple programs, you want to also highlight your portfolio experience. Working in a small organization with single, projects and working with large organizations with multiple programs is a totally different ballgame. So you want to also show that you've worked in that sort of fast-paced environment where there's a lot of moving pieces. You've can handle multiple projects at the same time in terms of you. Even if you know things like JQL, for those that we just finished our Jira training, things like your JQL, your dashboards, those specific things that that can make you stand out, so you just highlight them. But that is based on what the role is and the individual business. It cannot be one answer for every interview. You know that, right?
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, I know.
so it has to be tailored to that specific role and that specific business. If you're applying for a role within the banking sector with Barclays Bank or HSBC, then your answer should kind of tally with anything that has to do with the financial industry. You want to show that you have that financial industry experience. If you're going to apply for a role in hospitality, the same should apply. If you're going to apply for a role in telecommunications, V-Mobile, T-Mobile, or whatnot, again, you want to show that you have that telecom experience.
Mm.
And also the icing on the cake is also mention your transferable job duties. So what you're doing in your current role, just say as part of my service level agreement in my current role, I manage stakeholders, I facilitate planning workshops, I do forecasting, and this is those responsibilities are also mentioned in the job description that you're applying for. So if you are saying that you are doing it already and it's exactly what they expect you to do in the new role, then you are putting that icing on the cake and you are making them very interested in hearing your gist, your stories going forward. So
Oh,
that's what I tell my students. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for that, Mark.
okay. So, do you do any trainings on getting some of the certifications like the Scrum, Agile? I don't know, certifications around this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if we have like Mark said earlier, we are partnered with a company based in America, and we offer some certifications along the lines of Scrum, digital marketing, Lean Six Sigma. But the ones we don't offer, like Safe and Safe Agilist and all that, PSM and CSM, we can also facilitate that. So if you're
Okay.
interested in writing any of those exams, you let us know. We can facilitate that, and with 100% guarantee that you're gonna pass.
All right. Okay. That's fine.
Okay, cheers.
Is
And
there a way we can reach personally if we got like questions? Sorry, is it possible?
if you can reach,
Like, is there a contact or you
are
on
you are
LinkedIn?
you are you a current student
No, no,
or?
no. I'm looking to be a part of it. That's why I'm asking if I want to join. What
Of
do you
course, of course, of
require?
course. We'll drop. I would leave a number in the chat, and yeah, if you reach out, then we
Or a
can.
LinkedIn profile, that's fine. Anyone.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I'll leave my number in the chat. But I mean, for those who use the opportunity you have now, we want to start. We want to hear more success stories. And the good thing about it is, this is the right time. From now, a lot of businesses operate from April to April financial year, so they've passed their budgets. April, May, June. More roles are coming. There's a lot of companies recruiting. Businesses are booming. This is the time to get on. Don't limit yourself. Don't tell yourself you're not qualified. Nobody was born with all the knowledge by default. Everyone had to pay price, learn and graft to learn this thing. So, you know, put in the work and it's gonna happen.
Yeah. And also just to mention, you can't be perfect. You have to win wounded. You understand? You have to limp to the finish line. You don't have IT skills, that's not a problem. You don't have project management skills, not a problem. It's just going to be lots of hard work, lots of wounds, lots of um, limping, and but you're going to get a job. You are going to keep the job stress free as long as you're willing to do the work, like Walt Disney says in the quote here. So just stop talking. Let's just get the work done. Apply for jobs. We will mentor you, and you'll be fine.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Any last question before we call it a night? Kelechi, for those who want to contact us, Mark, can you leave your number in the chat as well?
Yep, I'll give a number. Yep. So that's my number there.
Oh,
Yep, just left my number as well. So if you, I mean, yeah, you can reach out to us and we can see how we can help you. So if there's no other question, then let's call it a night. Thank you everyone for attending, and yeah, we're looking forward to more success stories. Yeah, have a wonderful evening, everyone.
oh, thank you very much.
Cheers, all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.